So does being less nice ever get easier? This is a question I often hear from clients. They're practicing what they're learning in my book, Not Nice. They're speaking up for themselves. They're saying no. They're asking for what they want. And it's uncomfortable. Can you relate to this? It's uncomfortable. It's like, oh my gosh, I said no. Are they going to be upset with me? Oh, I asked. Was I being too pushy? And there's guilt and fear and discomfort arising. And they ask themselves, and then they ask me, is this ever going to get easier? So in today's video, I'm going to share about the process of being less nice. And if you find that you're someone who's too nice, you say yes when you want to say no, you have a hard time disagreeing with people, you absolutely have to watch this video. Also, make sure you click down below to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you find these videos right when they come out, because the more of these that you watch, the more confident you're going to become and the better your life will be. Okay, so have you started the practice of being less nice? That's my key question for you. If you have not, make sure you check out my book, Not Nice. Go through that and start to practice what's in there. And then the next question is, well, does it get easier? Let me tell you a little story about this. So sometimes when I'm leaving the house, my younger son, who's 5, will say like, I want to come with you. And one time I was going to drive about an hour to go to some appointment and do a work meeting as I drove. And so I tell him like, oh, no, I'm going to be doing this work meeting and driving. And just the other day, I was going to go for this hike. And, it's a Friday afternoon. I've done a lot of work to shift some of my schedule so I could have Friday afternoons open. I was excited about this, and I'm going to go for a decent hike. And it's a very different pace than if my 5-year-old was with me. I said and so what I've learned is instead of saying like, no, you can't come on the hike, I'm doing my own thing. When we're uncomfortable with saying no, we will often be harsher than we need to be. So I got down to his level and I said, sweetie, I am so excited about spending time with you when I get back and over the weekend. And this hike is going to be for daddy only. He's like, why? He's crying. And I was like, because I'm going to go far. I'm probably going to hike about 10, 12 miles. He's like, I can do that. I was like, oh. And I said, again, notice if I'm just saying no to everything. I'm like, yes, you can. You absolutely can do 10 to 12 miles. And, I said this to him. I was like, probably in the right circumstances, you could even do it today. But your body, it would be really hard on your body. Mostly, though, if you practice and get stronger, you'll be able to do 10 or 12 miles in the mountains, within a couple of years, I bet you could. Maybe even sooner. And so I'm working with him, but he's also like, no. And then he does something that people do when they're hurting and they're upset. They say something that might induce guilt. Sometimes people call it guilt tripping. Now, they're not consciously doing it. I don't think there's 5-year-olds consciously doing this, but people of all ages. Your mom might do it. Your siblings might do it. Your friends might do it. Whatever. Your boss might do it. And he says, you're choosing to not take me with you. You could take me with you, and you're choosing not to. Right? And twisting the knife. And I looked at him and I said, yeah, I am. I love you, son. I'll see you a bit later this afternoon. And I left. And I didn't feel guilt. I mean, I could feel his pain. And maybe I felt some like pain in me. But it wasn't guilt. I didn't feel like I'm bad. How could I do this to my son? I'm a bad dad. And I would have felt that previously. I certainly did. First couple of years of my kid's life, I felt guilt a lot because I was still working through a lot of the niceness stuff about being a parent. And I'm not saying I never feel guilt or feel niceness as a parent, but a lot of that's burned out and burned through. So yes, it does get easier. You absolutely can say no to someone who wants something from you, and you can still you might feel pain, you might feel empathy, but you don't have that crushing guilt. Why? Because you've learned the rules. You've learned your Bill of Rights. This is what I'm allowed to do. When you feel guilty, you think you're breaking a rule. And the rule might be I can never leave my son if he wants me. The rule might be I can never say no to someone. The rule might be I can never reschedule someone. The rule might be I never can ask someone for what I want. And if you have a bunch of those rules and you're living by them and you think they're real, you're going to chronically feel guilt and anxiety. So you have to change that. And we talk about that in the book, Not Nice. I also have a course. It's a 90-day immersion program called Total Social Freedom, where people go through this immersive program and have monthly group coaching calls with me live. And we root this out. We pull it out by the roots, the nice conditioning, and retrain you to be a bolder, more authentic version of you. And then, yes, these things can shift. But that's the good news. Here's the bad news. They don't just go away on their own. I've talked to people who are in their 70s. One client I worked with is 79. Niceness to the max. 50, 60 years of life does not change that, of being an adult. It doesn't change that. You can just run those same patterns again and again. You can run by the same rules again and again. So if you want to change this, you gotta work it. And we talk about this in the book, Not Nice. It's about claiming that you're going to be less nice, claiming you're going to be more authentic, because that's the opposite of nice. And then practicing it. And yes, it's uncomfortable. That's the discomfort tolerance that I talk about in the book. You gotta, that was uncomfortable. It's not going to be comfortable the first lots of times. But each time it's uncomfortable, it's an opportunity to say, wow, how am I making this so uncomfortable? It's not in the circumstance. I could say no to somebody and feel fine about it, but there's something about what I do in my psychology that makes it terrible, and I'm going to upgrade and change that over time. That's how you get free. So share down below in the comments what you're finding most valuable and what you're learning, and I look forward to speaking with you again. Until we do, may you have the courage to be who you are and to know on a deep level that you're awesome.